Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is the Coffee Shop Talk, and I am your host, Shernita. Tonight, you're going to enjoy. We have a very, very special guest, and I'm going to share a lot of things about her in the beginning in her introduction. And I want you to pay real close attention because I want you to understand that this woman is very gifted. Not only is she gifted, but she is gifted not only to do just one thing, she's gifted in multiple things, and God has really, I call her the female next Tyler Perry. So I want to share some things about her before I bring her on. And she's, if you know anything about celebrities, you know that they're on the go. They're here, they're there. I've done interviews of celebrities getting ready to get on the plane, in a hotel, in the car. So she's in between, and she's been so gracious with her time to give us an interview, and I want to share her with you. So I'm going to start and begin with, and I got to put my other eyes on. Y'all know how I am. All right. Tonight's guest is a playwright. She's a screenwriter, a filmmaker, an author, a director, a poet, a humanitarian, a producer, an activist, and she is also the founder and CEO of her own production company, Mayan Productions, LLC. And she's been doing this since 2010. Now, she was born in Wilmington, Delaware, and grew up in Norfolk, Virginia. She graduated from Maury High School in 1993 and attended Norfolk State University in 1994 with an undergraduate studies in business management. Now I understand why she's able to do what she does. PEACHANDA is also a retired master hairstylist of 20 years. And I can tell you, she keeps the hair together. She wrote her first volume of poetry entitled Reflections of Me in 2007. Independently, PEACHANDA successfully self-distributed in North Carolina. In 2009, she wrote her first play, Surrender, a spellbinding story about a former drug dealer and his road to redemption. It remained on stage for a year, and due to its success and powerful impact, that's when PEACHANDA discovered her true purpose in life, creating life-changing stories that impact the world, provoke positive change, education, the taboo narratives, laughter, and entertainment. Since her first initial love affair with the stage, PEACHANDA has written and directed and self-produced over 18 individual productions, both theater and film. I want you to understand, including her acclaimed piece, Ferguson, the musical, which garnered 3 NAACP awards nominations, with one win for Best Choreography. In 2018, following up with 2 Stiletto Awards, also in 2018, for Best Playwright and Best Musical from the National Association of Women in the Arts. This production takes on the narrative of unjust killings of African Americans by law enforcement. And you all know this is a narrative that is continuing on right now. This is a narrative that, even though, you know, here we are in 2021 and we're still having to deal with racial injustices and biases towards African Americans. And she brings these things out in her production pieces. PEACHANDA made history 2020 as the first writer-director to ever land a residency in the 30-plus year history of one of Hollywood's most noted theater staples, the Hudson Theater on Hollywood's Theater Row. And for the past decade, PEACHANDA has solidified the art of giving back as the founder and creator of 3. I apologize, y'all. We will edit that out. As the creator of 3 award brands, the Peach Theater Awards Cruise, Mayan Industry Awards, and the Pioneer Awards, honoring excellence in the arts of theater, film, music, and television. Please help me welcome the esteemed, the beautiful, my friend, Miss PEACHANDA DUBOSE.
Hi, darling.
Yes, I forgot to put the phone on. This is my birthday, y'all. So I've been giving birthday calls all day. So
Happy
thank
birthday,
you so
beautiful.
much.
You know how much I love you.
I do.
You
I
know how
do.
much I love you. And I know you've been tremendously busy, so I ain't stunting that phone like they say down south. I ain't stunting it.
Thank you. When
It's
we
my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Queen.
thank you. Hey, I think I make 52 look a little, some. I don't
You
know
make
what
it
y'all
look
think.
phenomenal with your gorgeous self.
Thank you,
You
and you
talking
looking
about you
gorgeous as
talking about
well.
beautiful and gorgeous. You look amazing.
Thank you, darling. And I appreciate all the love. And I often say we don't do this enough. We as women and as people of color do not celebrate one another enough and lift them up and empower them. And so that's one reason why I love you so much, because you stay true to you and you've been consistent over the years that I've known you. So I'm so honored that you took time out in your schedule to pull over while you're running your errands and doing different things and getting ready for productions, that you have a chance to talk with us. What I want to start off with, I shared with the people all of the accolades, of your beginnings and the when you fell in love with theater as a youth, as um, a young person growing up. Did you ever think that you would be in theater or in entertainment?
No, ma'am. The closest I came to it was when I was younger. I was actually a youth leader in the church, and we would do little skits from time to time, to act out some of the stories in the Bible.
Mhm.
But that was the extent of it. I had no interest in entertainment beyond drawing. I used to be an artist in terms of drawing, and believe it or not, I was a little athletic when I was much, much, much younger. Okay, those days are gone, but
Oh, no, it's never gone. Never, never, never.
honey, I can't run like I used to, but you know, I was always good at writing poetry as a young lady, as a young girl, but as far as like really delving into it, no, it wasn't a desire of mine at all.
Well, clearly it was birthed in you from the beginning because you do it so naturally. I know our first meeting, I had an opportunity to cover your the list, and you allowed me to sit in
Yes.
on your table read, and it was like wow. I almost forgot what I was there for, because I was so drawn in. Your words, and I've attended the Ferguson the musical. Oh my God, I can't wait until you do that in a feature length film. And we'll be talking a little bit about that later on in the show right now. But I want to bring up some things right now. You had some productions, and you mentioned, I think one of this, that I'm going to put up something, and I want you to expound upon it.
Okay. Woo! Loving
Loving
him
him.
and he's not ready.
What? Will you please tell us
Honey,
a little bit about that production right
do
there?
we have enough time today?
Oh
Okay.
yes, we're gonna cover a little bit of everything because I know that your product you've had various productions. I want to try to squeeze in as much as I can because I really want the
Yes.
people to know and understand the talent that you possess and the compelling stories that you bring. That not it's not just for entertainment, but you're bringing out issues that a lot of us either don't want to talk about, scared to talk about, or don't know how to talk about. So talk about a little bit about that for us.
Have you ever loved a man and he wasn't ready
Mm.
to receive the love that you wanted to give? Uh, in essence, that's what loving him and he's not ready about. It was a very beautiful story that it parallels the story of multiple women and men in relationships who were all in love with a man who was not ready. In different ways. There was a single mother who was dating someone who wasn't ready to fully, he wanted to commit to her, but he wasn't ready to be a father figure to her son. So that was a
Mhm.
problem in that particular relationship. And then there was a gay couple where one was a prominent doctor and he wasn't ready to basically faced the reality of his relationship with the man, and he was ashamed in essence of who he was. And so we paralleled that relationship. And then there's a NFL player who had been with the same woman for 7 years but refused to marry her. He wasn't ready to commit on that level. And then we had a mixed couple where, sis, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna keep talking until she comes back.
I'm gonna remove myself out the way because I want the people to focus on you. And so when you're talking, I'm gonna remove myself out of the stream. So keep talking.
Okay. And lastly, the last couple in that beautiful stage production was a couple who was it was a Black man, and he was dating a woman who was not Black, and so he wasn't ready to reveal his love for this woman that he was in an interracial relationship. So we had all of these stories, and they were all connected to one another, and it was just a beautiful experience. And the cast did a phenomenal job. That was Loving Him and He's Not Ready, and I did my best to represent multiple stories and how you can love a man and he's not ready for whatever reason.
I can't wait until that becomes a film. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. You all, I'm trying to get you all ready because I don't think y'all ready. I don't think you understand what's going on right now. So I'm going to pop up something else. We're going to keep this rolling because, again, I want you on here for the people to see the talent, the gifts that you have, because anybody can write, but
no, they can't. No,
listen.
They can write something on paper, but to write a story.
That's what I'm trying to say. Anybody can write down. You can look on the board, write stuff. You can write what you think. You might need. Some people might need a little help with the words, but to write something that captures people's attention is what I want people to understand. Is so important when it comes to you and the productions that you're doing. So I'm going to keep it rolling. This one right here.
Veracity. Yes.
Veracity.
Yes, Veracity is near and dear to my heart. It was my first multicultural production, period, whether it's stage or theater. Veracity accomplished so much. I had my first actor with physical disabilities as one of the supporting actors. Who did a phenomenal job to represent that group of people. And I wanted to represent him as simply an actor, not to highlight his disability, but to represent what actors with disability can be. They can be any role, whether in Hollywood or not Hollywood. So I was very proud of that fact for that particular character and what he represented in that role. We talked about sexual abuse, drug abuse, racism, and bigotry. We squeezed all of that in that stage production. And like I said, it was multifaceted on so many levels. It was multicultural. I had a Latina lead. I had an African-American co-lead. And we had, like I said, an actor with a physical disability, and we just represented all of them. It was just a wonderful production, and Veracity was one of my favorite casts, by the way.
So I'm going to ask and shift this question here based off of what you just said with both of these plays. Why do you feel it's so important to talk about these issues? I know we can turn on the television and we see some of the things touched on. We can, open a book and read about it. Why is it so important for you to write it the way that you do to start the narrative and the conversations?
Because these people and these stories exist around us every day. So why not represent them? My number one main agenda is always the Black agenda. I'm going to always tell our stories, and part of our stories are centered around other races and other cultures. So it's important for me because I'm a realist. Anybody who knows me on a personal level knows that I'm very real, and I believe in telling stories in a righteous way. And to tell a story in a righteous way, you have to be realistic about it. So the purpose for me bringing certain issues to the table is because these areas and these people exist. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, there are drug addicts among us. There are people who are racist among us. There are people with physical disabilities among us. There are people who are homosexual among us. And I just choose to talk about it in a creative manner.
Okay, so we're gonna keep moving because again, you've done so many different things. And I'm asking you to
question. I hope I
yes,
answered the question.
you
Okay.
did. You answered it because I want people to understand that these are not just production pieces that you're just doing to pass the time.
No,
Again,
ma'am.
a lot of people get into industry, but you can really pull out if you're good enough to critique, pull out those individuals that you can tell there's something about that message. There's something about that storyline or that director, that writer, that is different from anybody else. That's what happened. I always tell you that you're the female next, Tyler Perry. And who's to say that y'all gonna be neck and neck with it? I'm just saying.
And I always joke with you and tell you I'm the pro-black version of Tyler Perry too.
Exactly. Of course.
Hey.
But and it's good to encompass all of those things. I was in our first meeting, the list, and I was really drawn by at the table read with that. So I want you to share with us about the list and what was your message there that you want the people to know?
The message there for every woman on this earth is society has taught us what a man should be. When I say society, anything society has a large influence on, a lot of it is based in deception. Okay. This particular woman, she had a notion in her mind what she thought was the perfect man. As Kevin Samuels would say, a high value man, which that's a whole nother story. I won't even touch on him. But the list was written before Kevin Samuels people even knew he existed. But in her mind, she wanted a high value man and other men who really wanted to love her and embrace her for the beautiful woman that she was. She never gave them the time of the day. She had a list. And if a gentleman didn't meet that criteria on her list, she wouldn't give him a fair shot. Well, let's just say that she learned a hard life lesson that, everything that glitters isn't gold. And it like I said, it was another beautiful piece. And many women came to me after the show and they thanked me and they thanked the cast for walking away with a lifelong lesson, having saw her story.
Wow.
Which is fictional. It's a fictional story, but I'm referring to the lead actress and the character she represented.
Okay. So you write in different genres. You write drama, the comedy. Can you tell us about this one?
Oh, Mr. Harold Behave. Oh my God. That was one of my first comedy pieces. Mr. Harold, he's an elderly man who had a craving for the old cannabis, and he was married to a church elder. So there was that relationship clash, and their backstory was a beautiful love story on how they met each other and how they've endured a 20-something-year-old marriage. And his character, even though he was a mess, he was very funny and rebellious because his wife was a devout Christian and an elder in the church, and she's trying to get her husband to stop smoking weed. And that was one of my very earliest plays. And again, one of my favorites. It was funny from the beginning to end. The character was hilarious, but by the end, we fell in love with Mr. Harold and understood how he became who he was. It was hilarious.
So even though this was comedy, and again, I want people to understand that when you're writing, when you are creating, and you're talking about subjects that most people don't want to talk about, bringing in a little element of laughter and kind of ease, because think about it. Those relationships actually exist. They actually
Yes.
exist.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
you went home with some of these church folks
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes, you find out a whole lot of stuff go on. But
Yeah.
I think it's important because you humanized it. You
Mm-hmm.
made people to see, just because someone is in ministry doesn't mean that they have to be uptight all the time, or just because someone your opposites attract, that doesn't mean that they can't, enjoy. Why is it important for you to bring those narratives?
Okay, before I address that, I wanted to also specify Mr. Harold Behave was a spinoff from my first play, Surrender. I forgot to say that. It was a spinoff of one of the lead characters from Surrender. And to answer your question, it's important because, like I said earlier, these characters really do exist. There it is, Surrender. Surrender was my very first play. I had never written a full-length play before Surrender in my life. Like I said, I wrote little skits when I was a young woman for church, but that was about it. Surrender was a story about a former drug dealer who he found Christ as a result of his relationship with a woman he fell in love with. Like I said, that's one of my earlier plays. It stayed on stage for almost a year, and during that time, I fell in love with theater, and I just committed myself to learn more about it and to master it over time. And that's been 12 years ago now since my first play, Surrender. And my writing style has changed, and so has my content as well. It's more diversified.
Okay, I see that. You did this play here.
The devil thought he had me. You've been doing your research, Queen. The
I
devil
know
thought he
you
had
know.
this. Yeah, it's based on my real life story, how I overcame abusive marriage and street life. And when I say street, I don't have to explain what abusive marriage is. I think everybody knows what that is. But I'm a survivor. And street life is just that, street life. If you got enough sense, you know what street life is composed of, and I survived that as well. It was based on my real life story, and I took some liberties with the play, to make it more universal, but the foundation of it is based on personal things I survived.
And I think
Yes, that's some of the cast. That's part of the original cast. You went way back.
yeah, so we want to let them
Yes,
see. And I wanted to share that because, again, I'm gonna put this back up.
yes.
Look at the number of people. When you're talking about all of these plays and the various casted actors and actresses that you've dealt with over the years, you have created a platform to help people to operate in their gifts. And that's so important. I think, as publishers, we help people to write their stories, to get it out there. As writers and directors, you create opportunities for individuals. What has it been like to be able to cast? Tell us about casting, because we know some, theaters have casting directors, some filmmakers have casting directors, but you, just like Tyler Perry, you wear all the hats. So when you're casting, what do you look for?
Well, I'm glad you posed this question because I don't, me personally, I'm the kind of director, I'm very hands-on. When I write a piece, I basically have an actor in my mind or actress in my mind. And if I don't have that particular actor attainable to me at the time, I'll make a personal casting call, and then, contingent on the people who respond, I pick who I believe intuitively is right for the part. I don't use casting agencies. I'm just very meticulous and hands-on on who I select to do different roles for different productions, because I know what I want as a director. And also, to further delve deep into your question, I know what I want. So that's just it. I mean, for me personally, there's no fancy way for me to put it. When I'm writing a piece, I know what I want. And if I being in the industry for as long as I have like a Rolodex, I guess, so to speak, in my head when I'm writing on what particular actors I want to call on for a certain piece. So to answer your question, I'm hands-on and I know what I want. And when I see that actor, I approach, and if they choose to oblige, I cast them for the role. If they don't, I pray, I seek God, I meditate, and if the right actor eventually comes along.
All right. So we've been talking about the Ferguson the play, and I'm going to pop that up here for the people to see.
Yes.
This musical encompassed all of these individuals. Again, you've been allowing platforms to allow the actors and the actresses and some of these people. I know they've been in a lot of different productions, but to be in your production, I had an opportunity to see it, and I'm going to share here. Yes. I remember that moment, on stage, and it was so compelling because when you think about stage, you have one platform, you have to use imaginative means to create scenes, but you did it so well. I mean, when I would gradually look around the theater to get the people's attention, and they were just like spellbound. And at some points you saw people wiping tears. There was people that you could tell that was really, really feeling those moments. And these are moments that you did this before the George Floyd situation. Yes, ma'am. So
I did Ferguson before it became a thing.
Exactly. And
that's all I'll say about it. I did it before it became popular to do. I did it as a woman, which is hard enough. You know what I mean? And the beautiful and painful part about when I first gave birth to Ferguson, I would have grown men message me on Facebook and encourage me in secret. They would say, "Sis, I'm so proud of you. I thought about doing something like this, but I was scared."
Yeah.
These are grown, masculine, strong Black men who admitted to me that they were scared to even touch it.
Why do you think that was so?
Because they are strong, masculine Black men, and they are the ones who are under attack.
So,
period. So they live in something that causes them to be under attack because of their shell. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. And so me being a Black woman who loves Black men, I gave birth to a Black man. Okay. I understood that. And not to say I became a shero or anything like that, because that's not why I did it. I gave up my home to fund and make a sacrifice to bring Ferguson to life. That's a little backstory that you know about.
Yeah.
But
and
to answer your question, no, they don't know.
They don't. They don't even know. They don't have a clue.
They know, but they don't know, sis. Okay.
They really don't. They really don't. So,
I want to touch on your question a little bit more. Mm-hmm. That's the reason for the fear, is because they're already under attack because of the shell that they're born into. So for them to message me or contribute to whatever I'm doing at that time was so inspiring to me, and it gave me the fortitude to understand why I had to see it through from the theater perspective. And that's the first time I've shared that publicly, that men would message me and say, "I'm so proud of you. I wish I had the courage to do it." And these are other creatives, but they were afraid to take on the subject matter because they didn't want to be attacked.
Wow.
I didn't care.
So we have that type of strength, and I think it's important though that we do lift up our Black men. We do encourage them to be their best selves and support them. And I love the way with the storyline that you reflected variations of the different type of Black men, and
Yes.
that's so important to know that, you know, and they each had, I'm not going to give it away if you didn't watch it. All I can say is just
Here's the light bulb moment, America. All Black men are not the same. There are millions of different type of Black kings who walk this earth from all different walks of life. They represent education. They represent blue collar. They represent the streets. They represent our elders. They represent our comedians and entertainers. This is a huge part of what Ferguson represents. And I thank you for giving me this platform, sis, to really bring that to the table. I really appreciate it. But our kings are different. They're so varied, and they're all important also.
If you're watching this right now, again, we are interviewing. I'm interviewing the beautiful and talented PEACHANDA DUBOSE, who's a filmmaker, playwright, activist, author. She's all of that. And in this particular piece, Ferguson, I see a familiar face, Mr. Ernest Harden.
Yeah.
We know him from the Jeffersons. So, and he is iconic, legendary, and I know he has shared so much with you since you've been working with him. What was it like working with such a legendary actor?
Mr. Ernest Harden Jr. He's one of those one in a lifetime beautiful diamonds, not a gem. He's one of those beautiful diamonds that you stumble upon, that you never forget. He's poured so much into me spiritually, and as a mentor, he has not wavered in his support for me. There was a time I couldn't pay him, and he did not slander me. He stood beside me and told the world that he believed in my talent. And I love him immensely just for his encouragement and for his support and just being a team player. And I just count that to be such a blessing because he is a legend, you know?
Yes.
And I could talk about Mr. Ernest all day.
And we're gonna touch back on him in just a little bit, but
Okay.
Again, I want to get everything in because I want the people to understand that what you do takes a lot of talent, a lot of grit, a lot of praying, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and to keep it going. Here, this was can you tell me about this scene here?
Yes, that's entitled Same Stranger. Same Stranger was my first mystery. I decided to do something different with Same Stranger. I had never written a mystery before, whether it was through poetry or film or theater. Same Stranger was my first mystery drama, and it was a very intriguing story about a father and son relationship, and also it was centered around mystery and deception as well. So it was a really, really stellar piece, and my cast only existed of 3 people.
Wow. And I can't even imagine what that. See, all of these, I'm thinking film, television shows, feature, theater. I'm just throwing it out there into the atmosphere because you got it like that, for real, for real. So, in your plays, we have this particular play here.
Brothers. Yes, Brothers is coming. It's debuting in my residency this November. I'm so excited. It's a powerful, powerful, powerful story about 2 brothers who are facing some very tumultuous times after the death of their parents, and it shows their kindred spirits, their brotherhood, and their stick-to-itiveness to love each other in spite of. It's a very, very wonderful story, and I can't wait for you to see that one either. It's coming up in November in my residency. It's starting my residency back up because Brothers was supposed to go up in residency before the pandemic and we got shut down.
I
So
remember that.
we're all excited. We're all excited, and it'll be debuting on stage November 21st, 2021 at the Hudson Theater.
Where do these ideas for these plays come from, and the films that you've written? Where is, I mean, is it from experience? Where do
Yes,
you tap into that niche where you are?
experience, life, and purpose. My purpose for when I create any piece is I wanted people to leave inspired, leave encouraged, leave educated, entertained, humored, all of that put together. You know, I've been blessed to write everything from love to comedy to politics to, and now I'm getting into animation. So I just, when the spirit puts something in me, I just do what it takes to get it done.
Okay, well, since we're talking about that, we're going to move on in. These are just some of the plays, you guys. I can't even imagine, and this just in what you say, 12, 13 years?
12 years.
12 years, 12 years, and you're producing it like they're flowing out of you like water, so I can't even imagine what's going to happen as the growth comes in this other area, because we've mastered definitely theater, and already you have mastered, and we gonna tap into this right here. You know where I'm going, right?
I think I do.
Bam.
Maggie. Okay, Maggie, that's the play version when we did it live. We premiered Maggie live on live stream. Fortunately, you were able to catch that too. Maggie started as a play. We did it live theater. We streamed it live on Facebook. We all were nervous as hell, but it turned out as a wonderful, wonderful piece. And that motivated me to say, okay, PEACHANDA. Everybody's shut down. Everybody's paying attention now. Now's the time to strike and go ahead on and release this as a short film. So I did it while everybody was forced to sit still.
So talk about the short film. I know this is not the image for your short film that has been featured, but continue to tell us about how this gravitated into the short film.
Yes, Maggie is a story about a beautiful woman who is suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. And the reason why I call her beautiful, because if you look at her appearance, one would say she's not beautiful, but her character and her story is what makes her beautiful. And we talk about how the trauma that this woman suffered at one pivotal part of her life caused her to become sick, mentally ill sick. And ultimately, she ended up homeless. And we talk about this story, and it's been received very well globally. And I don't want to say too much about the story because Maggie is still unreleased. But anybody who sees Maggie, I'm convinced that they will never look at homeless people the same way again.
So you did Maggie. I had the esteemed privilege to go to Philly with you when it screened there in Philadelphia, and we had
in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, yeah. In Atlantic City.
Yes.
So it did extremely well even there, and it was beautiful to see so many people of color coming together to share their creative moments and to see the connections that happen. Did you think that Maggie would be this successful?
You want me to say what sounds politically correct, or you want me to tell what I really felt?
I want you to stay true to you.
Yes, I did. Because I knew what God had placed in me, and I knew what I was going to do to make it happen. to ensure that Maggie would be successful. So to
Mm,
answer your question, I don't say that braggadociously. I'm just being honest. Yes, I knew.
yeah. And it was just confirmation. I did too. It confirmed it. There was no way, that after I saw the live play version, and I'm thinking, wow, what if she did that and didn't know that you were already thinking about doing it in film? Because the me being able to see things, I can see, a little further into the future of stuff. And when you say, sis, I got a surprise for you, and
Hmm.
you shared that I was like, I can't wait to see it. And when I
Yep.
had a chance to watch it, it was like I was fighting back tears, because I'm like, oh my God, what if this is feature length? What if this was it? We could go a little deeper into the story. I couldn't even imagine what would happen. But we know that when you take, it's easy to have a concept and to go from one phase to the next. But we also know this is not, easy task. It takes money. It takes money to produce these plays, these features you talked about, when you weren't able to pay Mr. Ernest Harden Jr., and how he said, I believe in you. I'm reminded of the same story with Tyler Perry when he consists, because people were asking, why is he casting the same people over and over and over again? And he said, I'm casting them because when I could not pay them, they said, we believe in you. We're here for you. Don't worry about that. And he told them, if you stick it out with me, I promise you, as I go up, you're going to. And he made good on his promise with that. So it's so important for people to understand that, putting a production together is more than just having a concept and an idea. And, it takes money. And sometimes, even if you fall short with it, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. Because if we listen to his story, we listen to Steve Harvey, to Oprah, all of these stories that where you start from humble beginnings. That's what I'm, so moved by, that you have all this talent, all of these giftings, and you are trying to take it to you are taking it to another level.
That's right.
I want individuals to know that right now, this is a great opportunity for them to tap into that soul and to support you. So if you're not friends with
Thank you, sis.
PEACHANDA, make sure you send her a friend request. Now, don't send a friend request just because you want to see what she's doing. Make sure you send a friend request because you want to know how you can support to help these kind of stories, these kind of conversations get out. Now, your second film. Let's talk about this one. And we see Mr. Ernest again. He
yes, Mr. Ernest.
I was blessed.
Bus Stop is my second film, which is going to be released very shortly here into the film festival circuit on October the 7th. This is a beautiful, beautiful story. When I watched the raw cut of it, I thought Maggie tore my nerves up, but Bus Stop, I was just speechless, once I saw the rough cut. Because, as a director, when you're shooting your piece, it's one thing, but when you see it coming together in the post-production phase, it was just a beautiful thing to see. And Bus Stop is a beautiful story as well about a wayward son reunited with his family, and at a bus stop, and got a few strangers involved in the story. And I don't want to tell too much, but it's another one that will provoke everyone's thought pattern after they watch this story. Okay. It's deep.
So I already know. I'm just I can't wait. I can't wait.
Listen, let me tell you this. This is my first time saying this publicly as well. Sis, I was on set filming Maggie, right? And I knew it was God. I'm telling you. I was on set filming Maggie, and I had maybe a 5 or 6 minute break. I was thirsty. I sat down and I drank some water, and I told my cinematographer I need a few minutes. At that moment, Mr. Harden texted me. He said, PEACHANDA, you say you love me, right? Because every time we would talk, I said, I love you, Ernest. Yeah, I love you too, sweetheart. You know, he's just like a big brother, a mentor, you know. And he texts me randomly out the blue. He said, "You say you love me, right?" I said, "Yeah, of course I do." He said, and I'm trying not to cry. He said, "Write something and cast me in it." Bus Stop was born 2 months later. And I sent him the script, and then after he approved, I began to cast, and we filmed Bus Stop within that 6 months. I can't hear you, babe.
Many are called, but few are chosen. And here we have a legendary, iconic actor that contacted you
out of
now,
the blue. And I was on set of my first film. He said, "Write something and cast me in it."
But what I want to bring out is the fact that he could have contacted any other director, but he contacted you. One, because he believed in you. He believed in you enough that he knew that you could write something that would be worthy of what he's done or what he would want to do. To me, that spoke volume when you share with me about that story. And so I want people to know, again, this is the Coffee Shop Talk, and I'm your host, Shernita, and I am interviewing the beautiful and talented Miss PEACHANDA DUBOSE. She is a playwright, screenwriter, author, humanitarian activist, and she is in her niche right now. And you have an opportunity to follow her, to support, to be a part of that testimony as Tyler gives and all the other individuals that are not. Don't despise your small beginnings. You know, a lot of people look at it, but that's just a film short. A lot of things started from a concept, from a short, from the idea, because that's where usually big industry picks them up. If that's, it's sort of like a visual treatment that we get to see into this storyline. So you've done Maggie, you've done Bus Stop. What about this?
Those four kings.
They didn't understand that I was. Well, I'm hitting you with it. I'm hitting you with it. Y'all better pay attention. Keep up.
Wow. Those four kings are amazing. All four of them. Those are the four leads from my forthcoming film entitled Diabolical. And I also have another set of actors who are supporting actors on another section of the film. We just wrapped Diabolical about 3 weeks ago, and it's going to be premiering in the film festival circuit on my birthday next year, March the 5th. So it's another piece that it's life-changing. It's so many layers of everything. These men are chronicalizing a story about how they face racism different times on the same day. So it's powerful, it's emotional, it's thought-provoking. It's you see me shaking my head. Sometimes you just shake your head because that's all you can do to express it. But it's another piece that I'm so looking forward to, and I'm just grateful to have the level of actors that I had to embrace this role and believe in me enough to help me bring it to fruition. Diabolical.
So just in sharing some, and again, this, if you're just tuning in, that's just some of the production pieces that she has done.
You made me cry. So I'm trying not to.
I'm doing good. You better pat it. But I want you to understand, you are a media mogul. You are a female woman who is gleaming. Yes, you doing that. You're at the top of your list. You're at the top of your game. You are really setting the stage for other young women, other women our age that say, you know what, I want to do that. And they're watching you because, believe it or not, I told you I'm going to be your first protege, sensei. I always tease. I'm just saying, look, People don't understand that jealousy. I posted a post the other day about jealousy, and people will be so quick to hate or not support or dislike someone because of something they're doing, instead of saying, hey, you're doing that, can you teach me, or can I shadow you? Now, if we could take that pride down and get that crab mentality out of the way, what you're doing, you're going ahead of, you're inspiring, you're setting the trail, you're blazing the trail with what you're doing that others did ahead of you. You're keeping it going, but you're taking it into a lane that opens up doors. You open up doors for others. And I think that's so important that people understand you're not just an ordinary individual. You are very, very talented in your own right. And I'm not just saying that because I know you. Because I know the story behind it, it makes it even greater. Just if I didn't know all the details, just to see what you've done already is compelling. Your first film short, how many awards have you won with Maggie?
Maggie has won 14.
14 awards. Again, if you're not following her, make sure you follow her on these platforms. She'll share at the end show what it is, where you can find her. We're going to shift because we're getting close to our time. I just talked about how you share opportunities. And I did a little gist of it in your introductions. Maggie's won awards, but you're no stranger to awards. This is you.
Thank you, sis. Yeah, several of them up there. I can't read them, but I think I remember what they were. Can you read them, sis?
That's the Women of the Year award. Hold up.
Woman of the Year.
2016. 2016. And you've won. I have all you all. If I read off everything at this point, let me do this, and I'll post. If you follow her, you can see all of this. I'm just going to touch on it. She's won awards in poetry, and from 2003 to 2006. 2015, she was the best Black female in the arts in the category of theater, Black Women in Jazz and Arts Awards in Atlanta. 2015, Atlanta's hottest playwright, Atlanta's hottest in entertainment awards. 2016, Outstanding Community Service through NAACP Image Award, Radio 1 Hometown Champion. 2016, Playwright of the Year. Black Women in Jazz and Arts, 2016 Women of the Year, National Association of Women in the Arts, 2017 Humanitarian Award for Ferguson the musical, also 2018 Best Choreography for Ferguson the musical, and that was through the NAACP, and the list goes on. You have been, I'm just saying, I'm just going to put this up here to let people see that it is no joke. Your IMDb, just follow her. Go to her IMDb. Look at the details of the things that she's been doing. You'll get a detailed view of all of this. And here.
Wow.
I'm just saying, because again, sometimes people see stuff and they're like, I don't know what she's doing. I don't know how she's doing. This is how she rolls. And literally being exposed to that was official. You actually have a Getty image. I think I may have that. There we go. Bam. And trust me, Getty images are for life. Everybody doesn't get them. So don't say, okay, I could get one. No. That's red carpet ready right there. So I want people to understand that, you're talented. You're talented. And
Thank you, sis.
not only have you received awards, but you've also, now y'all wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, let me pop this one in right quick. Bam. You know who that is? That's Mr. Tom Joyner.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So again, you couldn't be there if you couldn't be there. Just saying. But you've started your own opportunities to celebrate individuals, and you have a couple of ways. One of them is this. How was the Pioneer Awards birthed?
I have affection for, like I said before, our Black leaders and Black pioneers. And I just realized it's an underserved market for so many people who have paved the way before us in so many lanes in entertainment. And so, I just felt led to begin this back in 2015. And that's the Pioneer Awards. The Mayan Industry Awards, it launched in 2015. So I just wanted to acknowledge my actors in my own fashion, because unfortunately some actors will never get acknowledged for the work that they've done, and any actor who's ever worked with me, they will be able to label themselves as award-winning actors. The cruise,
Yeah.
that's where we have a beautiful time every year. I'm celebrating my 10th year. And this one is in celebration of all of the alumni, people I've acknowledged over the past 10 years. This is where I get to honor my colleagues, other writers, other directors, people in the industry who do what I do. And we get together on a beautiful cruise ship and we go on vacation together. We have workshops. We have a short film showcase, and we just have a good time. At the end of the year, I feel like we need it as creatives. We deal with multiple personalities with casting and actors. We go through the stress of trying to fund our productions. We go through all of that. And so this is a way for us to draw inspiration from one another while having a vacation at the same time. And it's healing for me. It's healing for me to acknowledge people and to shed light to their gifts and what they bring to the world creatively. So I find joy in giving in that way.
And I am so honored to have been one of the recipients of your awards, and mine is sitting in my china cabinet. It has its own little space.
Much deserved. And if they watching this show, they should know why it's deserved. And you're gonna get another one in December.
Okay, I'm ready. She ready.
As one of the alumni, congratulations.
Thank you. I am so excited about this cruise. And the thing is, I've never been on a cruise, so it's going to be double exciting because it's my first cruise.
And then you got your first Peach Theater Award during the pandemic. So
I did.
If they're trying to figure out, well, if she's an alumni, how does she never been on a cruise before? I'm a woman of my word, okay? She got hers during the pandemic, okay? Which makes her an official alumni.
And I'm going. Hey.
We all going. I can't wait.
You, in 2019, right before the pandemic, you honored Full Force, the group, and some of these other. Share a little bit about this image right here.
That's the iconic, legendary Pioneers Full Force, featured with some of the other wonderful honorees standing by the step and repeat, the red carpet, and then you have some of the attendees and guests, taking pictures of them. That was just a beautiful moment. That was near the end of the ceremony.
So again, you know what you're doing. And you're not just honoring the unsung heroes, you're just honoring the legends, those that, that still have life in them. I love the Mr. Ernest, the Cecily Tyson,
Yes.
God rest her soul, Louis Gossett Jr., all of these individuals that went.
Phyllis Yvonne Stickney.
Yes, I'm going to get to that. Yeah. Tell us a little bit. Can you give us a little snippet about not only her, but where they can see her or will see her?
No, not yet.
Oh, you got a little bit. Oh, I thought I had an exclusive, y'all. I tried, but you got
not
again.
Yet.
Follow her.
You think you slick? You think you slick?
Yeah, I tried. Follow her on her platforms. Keep up. Trust me. Will you say her name again?
Phyllis Yvonne Stickney.
Now, go on her page and figure it out. Keep up with her. So, let's shift. We're down to the end of this. You mentioned Trounce.
Trounce is it's going to be my first animated short film. I was led to do this story, but in the form of animation. I think it's a creative way to bring this beautiful story to life about a young Black man who got himself into some trouble. And upon his release from prison, he's back out into society and working on his road to redemption. And I want to tell the story about how he's met with opposition. And that's all I will say at that point about the story.
Again,
so, Trounce will be debuting in 2022.
Follow her so that you can get a chance to see when this animation comes out and all of the amazing things that she's doing. And again, if you just tuned in, this is the Coffee Shop Talk, and I'm your host, Shernita, and I'm having a wonderful conversation with the beautiful and talented Miss PEACHANDA DUBOSE. And finishing up, I want to share how people watching can support. What are you doing?
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. We're launching and currently circulating our campaign for Ferguson, the musical, the feature film. So any monetary donations would be very much supported. There's no amount too small. I think people sometimes they might be afraid to donate what they can, and we're welcoming whatever you can. It doesn't matter what it is. We appreciate it because ultimately, as you give, it adds up. So we just appreciate it and just know you'll be connected to something that's great and destined to be historic. We need your support. We welcome your support for this necessary piece of cinema that has to take place. And we welcome and we need your support.
If you're on my page and you support me, you believe in me, you believe in what I do, I want you to please connect with her and support this campaign. I would love for, and I have thousands of people on my page, if everybody on the page just donated $5 or $10, we could really, really see something manifest here. For those that know me, know I try to support everybody in what they do because I believe it's so important to support one another. The scriptures tell us that, to gain friends, you must first show yourself friendly. So if you want something to be done with you, do unto others as you would like heaven do unto you. And sowing a seed, I can tell you, as you've seen, you are sowing in good soil. Be a part of the legacy, be a part of the beginning of this stage, and support the campaign. If you watch this later, send her a friend request and share that that you want to support, or go to this GoFundMe, and I'll share on my page the link so that you can support. I will be posting this image and the link, and I'm asking for you all to give whatever you have, whatever God lays on your heart to sow a seed, because I'm telling you, if to see this musical, it is so amazing. It is so amazing. And you will not regret having a part in helping to get this message out, because that's what she's doing. She's a part of our Creatives for Change team. And what that is, people who have content, who have stories that they're not just sharing, but they're sharing because they want to make a difference in the community, in the lives of others. So you will be making a difference in the lives of others by bringing this knowledge forward. So again, I'm asking and compelling you to do that. So we're at the end.
Also, sis, when they send me a friend request, I'm real anal about interaction. If you're a supporter, if you send me a friend request, I need you to actually support beyond monetary. I appreciate we need the donations. I don't have enough pride to say that we don't. We need the donations, but I also like interaction, like, share, comment on my post. It helps keep what we're doing in the algorithm. So I have a strong disdain for ghost followers. That means people who just follow you and don't interact or don't support or don't click like. Those kind of things matter on a social media presence. So if you send me a friend request, I'm going to need you to interact, because my sis will tell you what I'll do if you don't.
Block, delete.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's important that as an artist that we need that support also.
Yes, most definitely. So I am so grateful that you came on tonight, and I know we've taken up enough of your time. But for those of you watching, if you are on Clubhouse, if you would get on Clubhouse at 10 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to be talking with Creatives for Change, and we're going to be discussing being a part of what PEACHANDA does, what I do, that we help to share people's stories. We help to share stories, not just to entertain, but to educate, to advocate, to make a difference. And if you want to be a part of that and you're on Clubhouse, make sure you go and find the Clubhouse entitled Creatives for Change, or look up Shernita Wiggins and follow me. And then join us tonight. We're going to be discussing some projects that, like the ones you've seen, that will be a part of a platform in 2022, sharing various things that we need to start a discussion on and we want to support. Can you leave us with some lasting words of encouragement or any last minute thing that you'd like to share?
If you have something that you've been thinking about, it doesn't matter what it is. If you've mastered a cookie recipe, if you've mastered on how to help heal people through your words, if you've mastered how to serve, if you've mastered how to write, direct, produce, write comedy sketches, make floral arrangements, cut hair, nails, whatever it is that is purposed in your heart, is settled in your spirit for a reason. And you're not only robbing God, but you're robbing the other people in the world who would possibly healed by your touch, who could be possibly healed by your touch. So I encourage everybody to activate what's in your spirit, and nobody knows that but you. And I believe I'm speaking to a certain group of people that know what I'm talking about. It's something that's been nudging at your spirit, because it's something you're supposed to do to bring about into the world. So I encourage you to do it.
Okay, again, that's we're going to be on Clubhouse tonight, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're on the Pacific Coast, that's 8 p.m. Pacific. Not Pacific, but Pacific. So thank you so much. I appreciate you as always for gracing me with your presence. I'm gonna pop in a little something reminder. We ready.
Wow.
I'm just saying, y'all you see it in lights. She's in lights. Mayan Productions present Ferguson the Musical, and I know you want to be a part of the feature-length film of the same title. And remember that.
Yes, I remember.
See. So I intend to be there every step of the way that God allows me to be able to share how much God has blessed you and how far you've come. And I want to thank you again for coming on the Coffee Shop Talk. And I look forward to sharing with you tonight at 10 p.m.
I'll be
Love
there.
you.
I
And
love you, sis, and I
love
thank you
you
so
too.
much for this opportunity.
Thank
Girl, you
you.
took me down memory lane. You just don't
Yeah.
know how much of a surge of encouragement you've done to me with my own work. A lot of stuff. I've been so busy, I've forgotten what I've done. So I just want
Mm.
to thank you, sis. You talking about I lit a fire under you. You didn't relit my fire.
Well, you better get busy.
I love you.
Love you too.
I'll
Be
see
careful
you at
out there.
10.
See you at 10.
Okay.
Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Again, this is the Coffee Shop Talk, and I am your host, Shernita. And we will be back here Monday night next week. Be able to tune in with us again and see who else has something they want to share, something they want to impart into you. You never know. It just might be you. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Coffee Shop Talk. If you are on Clubhouse, join us tonight at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time for Creatives for Change so that you can find out which projects that you'll see in 2022 that's going to make a difference in someone else's life. I appreciate you guys and have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Again, this is my birthday. Don't forget to hit a shout out to me. Hit me up on my page or tell me you're just thinking about me and you're glad that I made it to 52 years today. I thank you all. I appreciate you and what you're doing and how much you have supported me and all of the things that you're doing. And please like, share this video, tag someone and let them know that this is a season to birth whatever change that's inside of you. If you saw my live earlier today, there's something to each one of us. We each have a purpose. We each have an opportunity to do something. And I believe your opportunity is now. Please like, share, and tag someone. And let's get this out there and let's support Ferguson, the musical feature-length film with PEACHANDA DUBOSE. Have a good evening.